Hello, this is a guide by me, Mansobasta, for cannoning in Destroy the Core and Destroy the Monument. Now, for this tutorial, I'm picking the map Spaceship Battle because I like spaceship battles, and also it's a good spot to show off two very important cannons, especially in competitive play. I'm not really going to be focusing on casual cannons, so spreads, you have to watch a tutorial for that somewhere else. I'm also not going to be teaching diags because I suck at doing diags fast. But the tutorials for those are pretty easy, so I think if you know how to build a whiskey and a whip, you'll be fine. Before we get to building a whip and a whiskey, though, here are some important things to know as a cannoneer. Yes, the cannoneer. I like to say cannoneer, but I guess but the term is cannoneer. In your hotbar, you want to have access to cannon building materials so that you can build it quickly and consistently. So you want to have those materials in the same slot that they always are, because otherwise you might mess up if you're doing something too fast. So in your hotbar, if you're building whips and whiskeys, you want to have, if you're building the cannons that I'm going to show in my video, I'm going to show one other cannon. You want to have both a diamond pickaxe and a diamond axe. Those can be swapped in the hotbar. I like to swap them in the hotbar. Obviously TNT, like a lot of it. Not too much of it, because then you'll run out, but also not too little of it that you have to run back and get more, because that sucks. Building blocks. Some buttons. Some redstone. Let me actually get a little bit more. A water bucket. Some things you craft out of wood, and of course, food. Now, the things you craft out of wood are, well, first, craft a bunch of sticks. You will not regret it. And then craft a bunch of fences. And if you're really nice, you'll put some of the fences in the chest so that other cannoners, if one of you crafts the fences quickly, or crafts a bunch of fences and then puts them in the chest, then, the other cannoners can just pick it up without having to craft it. And that would be really nice. But otherwise, you're going to have to make the fences. And be resourceful about it. You only have so much wood. The thing you do with some other sticks is make ladders, which will not be relevant for, well, it's relevant for whiskeys, not for whips. And it is relevant for the arc cannon that I'm going to show off. So you also want to have, I personally think it's a good idea to have this in a hotbar. You can replace this with something else, like your axe, or a bow, or a sword. Well, no, you don't want to need a sword. This is pretty good. But a bow, maybe. But otherwise, and of course you want to have food there. But I personally think a ladder is a good idea to have. First off, I'm going to show the whiskey. The whiskey is very easy to build. The first thing you want to do for a lot of these cannons is going to be placing the fence there. I don't think I will need to explain why defense is important, or why defense is important in terms of launching TNT, but it's also important as a visual guide on where you build your TNT. So first you mine the block, a fence, and for the whiskey, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right. You jump, as you flick forward to there, you switch to redstone, place a redstone here, one off from the last in the row. And then you finish flicking to here, you switch back to your building block, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you flick here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you jump here. You place water there. As you're running forward, redstone and a block to stop you. Place a button there if you want to, or you can do it at the end. And then you switch to your building block, place 2 on the opposite side. Now for TNT, there are 3 rows where you can place TNT to launch the TNT on this row. So I'm going to place TNT at here, here, and here. Now, if you like to be fast, you can prime it and then put the TNT here. So I'm going to do that. You might want to step aside for a bit. It's not going to break the monument there. That's fine. I didn't want it to. Because I want to demonstrate why you would want to... why you want to have these kind of cannon designs where you can place... where you can customize the amount of TNT you place. Because this is going to hit. And it just leaves that tiny morsel on the top. Now, as you can see, I took a bit too long, so the TNT hit the top, and then it started falling down. So, you can take advantage of timing the TNT, or timing this and this button press, so that it explodes mid-air at the spot you want it to. I think I took a bit too long there. No, I was right. Now, in reality, if you're doing spaceship battles in a tournament, by the time you, like, even place a fence there, both monuments could probably be covered in water, so you wouldn't be able to blow it up. But this is just a demonstration of, you know, of two important concepts of TNT, which is how much TNT you place in the back, and also timing the button presses. So, the next TNT I want to show off is a smaller version of the whiskey. I don't know what, call it whatever you want. Speed whiskey, mini whiskey, whatever. The whole point of it is to be fast. And the only main difference is that, well, is that this layer does not exist, and this layer is moved here. And the way to build it is also a little bit, is slightly different. But it's relatively similar. You mine the block, place the fence, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, jump, flick, place the redstone there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, jump, and then you jump again, and then, you know, redstone block. And if you want to be fast, you prime this, oops, I messed that up. What I was going to say was that, ideally, if you're super fast, you would prime this, and then you would build this, place a TNT here, then press a button, and then water at the end. All right. So the main difference between the mini whiskey and the normal whiskey is that for a lot of the cannon, the more effective back placements, you have to take out the water and place back the water every time. Because as you can see, I can click through the TNT, which is really useful, and the only reason that this cannon is possible. It's also more limited because there's not really much TNT in the back, so there's less control over the motion that this can do. So you might want to be a bit careful with that too. You can expand both of these as well, by the way. Let me restore this. So for instance, if you think, now not on this map, but on another map where you might be sniping from like a further distance, like Fractal, you might think, hey, you know, I don't want these 4 to be the maximum. I want to be able to place more TNT. Well, you're in luck. You can place the blocks here, and then you can place redstone here and here, and put blocks to cover it up. To cover it up for obvious reasons. You don't actually have to do this in PGM, but you have to do it in vanilla, so I'm going to do it anyway. And then from here, you can place quite a bit of TNT to be very generous. It's gonna go like, it's gonna hit the bedrock. No, it didn't hit the bedrock, it just flew into oblivion. That's fine. You won't really have to do this, but it's a cool thing you can do with the whiskey. It shows the unlimited power of it, if you get what I mean. Now, if you don't like the way if you don't think the fence launches the TNT high enough, you can use ladders instead. So let me actually do that. and then see what happens. Yep, it launched high. I don't even know if it went under or over the tunnel because I was looking away. So all of you will get to see it. Now, another design that is very useful in competitive play is the whip. To build the whip, it's going to be pretty simple. You just do a 2x2, you dig a 2x2, place 4 fences, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right. You jump, place 1, 2 here. And then you do the second layer, which is exactly the same. You don't need to do any funky redstone stuff yet. Now where you place the water, it doesn't matter what row it is, but it doesn't matter what column it is. You place it in this column. So place it there. And then you place a block and a button, or a block with a button attached to that block on this column. So it can be in either orientation. It can be like this. In fact, for red side, I am going to do it like this, just for convenience. But you can do it whatever way you want. And in fact, on red side, I could do this and it would be fine. But it's probably going to be a bit harder for some people. Now, for the way the redstone here is going to be the tricky part. You place redstone here and blocks here, and that's the starting point. Upon which you build blocks upon the redstone and redstone upon the blocks, up to here. All right, so it's going to be 3 blocks tall. 3 blocks tall, ultimately. And in vanilla, you're going to have to place blocks here. In PGM, you won't, but it looks ugly, so I like to place the blocks here. So technically it's 4 blocks tall, but you do not need to place redstone there. In fact, you shouldn't, because it's not going to do anything. Now, I think you understand how the whip works. You're going to place TNT in the back here. It's only in these 3 columns that you can place TNT. Don't place TNT anywhere else, because then otherwise it's pointless. Or, well, it's a nuisance. And plus, this is more than enough. And for the launching TNT, you can place TNT here. Not here. Do not place it there. Place TNT above. Up to the 3rd layer of redstone and stone. And, well, I don't think I need an explanation for how this works, but I'm just going to show it off. Yeah, you see, it went to the side. It looked kind of choppy while doing it. For this one as well, timing is very important, but you can also control the amount of TNT you place back here. No, do not place it there. So I think this is good. I should have released that button a little bit later. Okay. Well, I'm not getting the monument back there, but it's not like you ever wanted to. And in fact, look at the destruction of, like, the internals of the spaceship. You know, the one spot that's supposed to be safe. The one spot that has the supplies in the middle. Like, yeah. A whip can be pretty devastating to stuff from the side. Especially if from the front they built a water wall. In which case, whiskies are not going to do anything. Now, this is not going to be used competitively, but it's still a fairly useful thing to know for maps like Tanker TNT, whenever Overcast votes it in. And this is the arc cannon. You probably saw it in the Pants tutorial, but if you ever seen a Pants tutorial, but those don't really explain timings much, so I'm going to explain the timings. But first, let me explain how to build. No fence, use ladders. So 1, 2, 1, 2, jump. And then you do this again. You know what? I'm using wood. Jump. And then you place a redstone here, and then either a redstone here or a redstone there. It depends on what you want. There's some iron in the way, so I'm just going to place the redstone here. And it's going to be 3 layers technically. So 2 blocks of redstone to signify the bottom and the top layer. You put the blocks on top of the redstone, but that's not really the layer. That doesn't count. This is the final layer, all right? After which, you place the buttons. Let me get the water. After which, you place the buttons on where the redstone is, on the block between the two redstones, so that it activates, you know, both of them. After here, you place the water here behind where the ladder would be, and then you place 4 TNT in the back, and then however much TNT you want in the front. You want to time this very quickly, because it shoots up unexpectedly fast. Like, I think that would hit a sky bridge well, but like if you wait too long for this button press, it might hit the sky bridge and then start falling down, and it's not going to actually blow up anything. Now let's say the sky bridge is a little bit closer. Then what you can do is place a ladder here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3 in the back. Upon which it's going to, because it's higher up than where the TNT is going to end up being, it's going to shoot up at a steeper angle. See, whoever built the sky bridge there, they're dumb for. And that has happened before. And it's always satisfying when that happens. So, yeah, these 3 cannons I think are very important to know and use. If you want to look back at it, please feel free. It gives me engagement as well. And yeah, that's it. Take care.